we have an opportunity to be a generational company. We have the opportunity to win our market. So I think what's most exciting for me about Legora, in addition to having the best product, is I think we have the best people and the best strategy.
There's the topic of the AI bubble. When's it going to pop? Are we even in one? How can you assure that we're not in this situation? Well, welcome to the Hubscale Podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, really good. Not like we've been talking here for 10, 15 minutes, but it's really good to have you on. We're in Stockholm. It's been your SKO this week as well.
Yes. Big week. Awesome week. We had the full global team here. We've been, we've just crossed 300 people globally. We're hiring lots of people. So this is a great week to do some enablement, do some strategy work, get to spend some time, getting to know each other, all that good stuff. So it's been awesome. Yeah,
you beat me to it. I was going to go through some of these stats because it is incredible what you guys have achieved. So I'm going to rattle off a couple.
Yeah, go for it.
2 billion in valuation, 30 to 300 in headcount within 12 months, 7 million ARR within 24 hours. And you now have over 750 clients, and previously it was 50. Is that all right?
That sounds about right.
How are you doing this? Like, what's your secret? Everyone wants to know the secret sauce.
No, we're tired. No, it's no.
And you've just been promoted to Chief Revenue Officer as well. So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, it's been
it's all going on.
It's been it's all happening, as they say, and no, it's been great, and we're having a blast. I mean, honestly, first and foremost, the team that we have in place is amazing. And like you said, we're scaling really quickly, but it's not just in one place, in one area. Like we're a global brand at this point.
Yeah.
We've launched in Australia. We've launched in the US. We've launched in the UK.
Yeah.
We're going to be opening more offices. We have 2 offices in the US right now. We're going to be opening many more the upcoming 12 months. So as busy as the last 12 months has been, I'm actually more focused on how busy the next 12 are going to be. So it's there's a lot to do.
Is there anything you can share with us? Like what's going to be happening in the next 12 months? What can we expect from Legora? Yeah,
so we're really excited on a couple of different areas. So firstly, with respect to our people and our sort of support model, we're going to be looking at new offices in the US. We're going to be opening in Houston and Chicago. So we've been working with you guys, finding the right folks for that. So really excited on our continued US expansion. That's in addition to our New York and Denver offices, which we already have in place. There's a ton of work going on in the product side of the house, obviously, where we have some really advanced and really exciting functionality coming out that I can't speak on at the moment, but just the product work that we're doing is really next level. And obviously for me, working on the go-to-market side, I always say I look for companies that are product-led.
Yeah.
So we 100% are that here at Legora, and spending the week here with some of our engineers and some of our product folks and getting to see sort of up close and personal the stuff that's coming is super exciting. So lots going on.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the US expansion as well, because I mean, as of last year, there was pretty much 0 boots on the ground. You've now got over 50 people plus. How did Legora know that it was the right time to start scaling in the US? Because you had a lot of success across Europe.
Yeah.
Like, what were those indications that made you think like it's time to go?
Well, I think it's a couple things, and like you said, I was our first US hire.
Yeah.
So, I was working my first, month at the company. I was working out of my home office, until I was able to find a space in New York and Union Square. And the crazy thing now, and just on the people side, is like going from my home office to now, we just signed a big lease on an amazing space in Union Square where I think we can fit up to, close to 200 people in the office. So we're really doubling down on New York, really doubling down on the US. But to your point on how we figured out that the U.S. was the right place, I mean, the incredible thing about Legora is how quickly the market is sort of growing, expanding, becoming real. And obviously, like you say, we were founded in Stockholm, so we were founded here in Sweden.
In the homeland,
quickly became very obvious that the application was highly relevant and highly applicable to not just Sweden, not just the Nordics, not just Europe, but it's a global product. It has incredible depth and breadth of what we can do. And so we picked up very early traction in terms of pipeline and interest from U.S. firms. We're able to find some sort of initial partnerships. Like when I started, we launched with Cleary Gottlieb and Goodwin Procter in the U.S. So those were our two sort of foundational U.S. customers, but certainly not the last, right? And so we used the interest that we had from our initial sort of pipeline development, and it's scaled very quickly.
How are we shaping up? We think of Europe versus the US revenue, because you're ramping up pretty quickly. How is it comparing? Like, is it on par with each other? Is Europe a little bit high in terms of revenue success? Is the US really catching up?
Well, the US is by far our fastest growing market. So in terms of
faster than Europe.
In terms of just percentage of top line and pipeline, the U.S. is exploding. It's the biggest legal market in the world. So we understand that if we want to be the dominant sort of global leader in sort of the legal operating system of the future, we have to win the U.S. market. So strategically, that's a big focus. Having said that, like I said, yes, we're based here in Europe. We're based here in Stockholm. We have an amazing team here. The product does amazing things based on the country that you're working in, the jurisdiction you're in. There's some legal research and other functionality that we offer globally that's highly sought after and something that we see a ton of pickup on. So from that perspective, we have to sort of walk and chew gum. We have to both expand and win the U.S. market, but also maintaining our lead and maintaining our sort of dominance here in Europe.
It's like land grab time, isn't it?
Exactly. There's every market, every country. We know that there's opportunity, and mostly right now we're just trying to prioritize and where to place our bets.
Just absolutely going for it.
Yeah, big time.
Love it. Yeah. So as you're scaling, I mean, we were just talking about this before, is like, have there been any objections or roadblocks or even reservations that you might have had, or maybe from candidates looking to join? Not even just like in the legal space, legal AI space, or with Legora as well, or even prospects. Like when they've seen Legora, they've had the demo, like especially with legal teams, often the first time they're really being sold to, never mind even thinking of implementing AI as well. What hesitations do they have initially? I
think it's funny, and this has even evolved over my time here. I've been at the business about a year now, and initially, especially in the U.S., we would have a lot of conversations with different firms or different corporate legal departments, and I think at the beginning of last year, people were still sort of figuring out, what are the use cases, what are we doing. The level of maturity in the market was not what it is today, and things have really accelerated very quickly. And I've seen even in my own experience, companies and firms that we talked with, this time last year, fast forward 6 to 12 months, everyone knows they need to be doing something with AI.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of what.
Yeah.
So I think we're still very much in the education phase of the market, relative to what the tools do, what the models are capable of, like what the application layer can do, how the ROI works, all that different stuff. So we're all sort of learning together. Yeah. But a lot of the brands we talked to then sort of have come back and they're looking for a partner. So I think what's most exciting for me about Legora, in addition to having the best product, is I think we have the best people and the best strategy. So, folks aren't just looking to buy a solution, throw some licenses over the fence and say, hey,
there you go.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Right? So we spend more time actually for doing pilots, implementation, onboarding, ongoing transformation, the emphasis on change management, the emphasis on adoption, education, use case development, all of that is absolutely paramount and somewhere where we spend a lot of time.
Yeah, love that. I think something that, even I hear is, because everyone's wanting to go into AI as well.
Yeah.
But there's the topic of like the AI bubble. When's it going to pop? Are we even in one?
Yeah.
I said to you before that a lot of, especially candidates, when I'm working in the market, that they think, are these businesses just like a wrapper over an LLM? And I hear this all the time. It's probably two of the main objections. What's your opinion on either of those? And what would you say if somebody was listening in, even if it was a prospect or a candidate, that they have those reservations? How can you assure that we're not in this situation?
Yeah, look, on the market stuff, certainly it's a frothy market. There's a lot of money coming into it. And I'm not, I'm not going to pretend to be some sort of market analyst or, any type of, I'm not a VC. I'm not analyzing the market writ large. But what I can say is that I'd be more concerned about that if I didn't know what we could do. Like, the product works. It works out of the box. It does things that are incredibly impactful for law firms and for corporate legal departments. And we make a big impact very quickly.
Yeah.
And certainly there's an element of, yes, of course we have to, tailor the product to the customer's needs and wants and help them understand how to, take Legora and apply it to the best and highest use within their company. So that's all sort of, business as usual for us. But this isn't, it's not some hypothetical thing. It was like, oh, well, maybe how do we do it? And like, does AI work? And where could we use it?
Yeah, like the unknown.
We come in and we know.
Yeah.
We've done this, over 700 times, as you said. So we know, like, if we're going in to talk with, an M&A practice area within a big firm, we can come with, 10, 20, 30 sort of really impactful day one use cases that, of course, yes, we have to tailor to meet the needs of our clients, but this stuff works.
Yeah.
It's being used. It's being used on real deals. It's being used in cases. It's being used in the courtroom. We're making a big impact. People love our platform. So it's not speculative. So, with respect to the question, it's more about, to me, it's going from the hypothetical into practice. And I think this is the year where we're going to be the year of social proof.
Yeah.
As
and the year that I think you'll see a lot of the winners,
yes,
really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because so far to this point, you see a lot of the stuff, even from us and sort of the market generally, a lot of press releases around the partnership. Oh, we're working with this firm, we're working with this company, and all that's good. And we're excited, obviously, to announce this sort of like strategic partnerships that we have in place. But at the same time, I think this year you'll get more specificity. I think you'll start to see sort of the use case sort of adoption curve around the use case complexity curve around what the tools can do. You'll see the AI start to unlock sort of more and more end-to-end tasks, more and more workflows, multi-step tool calling, things like that.
This is the evolution, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I know that we can't get you to look into the future, but I think people would be really interested to know, like, how is AI's role going to evolve within law firms and in-house teams, even in the next 3 years or the next 5 years? Is any kind of inklings for what that's going to look like?
I mean, I think anyone who tells you they know it's coming more than 6 to 12 months in the future is full of it.
Especially in AI.
Yeah, especially with AI. So I think we try to keep a pretty near-term view on what we're doing with respect to the use cases and what we can do today. And obviously we have a roadmap and things that we're building. But but I would say if you look at what the models can do now. They're really good at a very broad set of applications, but you'll see the complexity of those tasks sort of go up and up and up as the models improve, as we improve a sort of engineering on top of and around the models, and helping sort of give it access to more tools, access to more systems of record within a company. There's a lot of exciting stuff we can do with MCP, more automation, workflows, things like that. So I think the complexity of the tasks, the complexity of what we're delivering will continue to go up.
Just going to get better and better.
Yeah, exactly. So right now you can do things like you can do a playbook-based review of a document and redline a document very quickly. That's a very popular use case for us. You can review an entire data room for M&A or entire set of e-discovery files within a litigation context and get an immediate insight into those documents and what you need to know. Yeah. And so as we think about different levels of information getting more and more easily accessible. And different tools becoming more and more easily accessible for the agents, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do.
Yeah, so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is just going to
exciting.
get better and better.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, love it. So when we were preparing for this, I was really interested to talk about how go-to-market motion differs in like a classical SaaS motion in comparison to AI. I think that you said for when you're building the AI strategy, the only consistent thing is change.
Yes.
And that it's a very bespoke strategy and it can change almost like every 3 to 4 months. because of that, how on earth do you prepare? Like, how do you actually, how do you prepare that? Because obviously your like previous backgrounds working at Braze as well, I'm sure even that approach is really different to the situation with Legora.
Yeah.
A lot of AI businesses, even when I'm hiring as well, they want go-to-market leaders like yourself who have replicated the same success, but the journey that AI is on is so different to like a classical SaaS business, and you can't just use that playbook and then apply it to Legora. So how do you actually prepare for it?
You know, we always make the joke, AI is not a spectator sport. It's something you've got to really get into, you've got to use, you've got to try. So for us, I think, you know, as we look at like preparation for like client work, it's still grounded in a lot of the fundamentals of what you would do in a traditional SaaS setting, right? So all of my prior experience is something that we leverage highly, just meaning understanding client outcomes, understanding pain points.
Yeah.
Every business, every firm we work with have different ways in which they do commercial financial models, have different ways of working, or they have sort of different goals and objectives, and certainly have a different tech stack that may or may not have strengths and weaknesses. So we're still very much meeting our customers where they are.
Yeah.
We do a really excellent job, and we have an excellent team of folks who are focused on preparing the right way to understand who our clients are coming into an engagement, and then taking a beginner's mind and having a deep understanding of their business, their challenges, and sort of what they're looking to achieve. And I always say, if you come prepared to any client engagement with what I would call positive business intent, meaning you're there to help them solve a problem, people can feel that. And certainly, a lot of our clients are very sophisticated. They do a lot of advanced stuff with Legora, and we have other clients who, might be at the beginning of their journey and are at a completely different end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And even within firms, there, of course, there's going to be those super users, those folks who see Legora for the first time, and they're eyes light up and they get super excited, and they like talk to me about how, they wish they had this 20 years ago and all these different things. And then there's other folks, who are less, there's AI skeptics and AI skepticism.
Right,
and certainly we experience that, all the time. And so our job is to be highly consultative and flexible in terms of where we're meeting our customers. And even within an existing account or an existing sort of like scope of work, we've got to be able to coach to the most complex and advanced use cases, and also sort of for the AI skeptics or folks who are at the beginning of their journey, we've got to be able to sort of show them the foundations and work with them. And when you look at what our customers are looking for, like I said, they're looking at our platform and what we can deliver, but they're also looking at our team and help and getting excited about how we can help those companies adopt AI, depending on sort of the complexity curve of problems we're trying to solve, as well as where they are in their own sort of level of understanding. Yeah.
You mentioned there about your team, the complexity of it, those kind of conversations that you're having as well. It's crucial getting those first go-to-market hires right, isn't it? You know, and I want to go into this really about really describing the culture that you're building, and why does it? Because when we spoke, this was one of the most important things to you. Like, why does it actually matter to you so much? Because you said that you were a coach at heart, right?
Yeah.
I think I said like a servant leader or something. You were like, please don't use that word.
Yeah, right.
Coach at heart. What are you building? Why is it important to you? I'm going to give you like a double loaded question. And also how do you maintain like the grit, integrity that got you that got you to this point now as you double the size and team? Like, how are you going to maintain that?
Well, it's a big question. That's a big question.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, for me, just on a personal level, right? Like, I live in Brooklyn. I've got 2 little kids. I have an amazing wife. I love spending time with my family. So when I'm not at Legora, I'm coaching the little league team. I'm coaching soccer teams. I'm doing all kinds of stuff with my kids and my family. And so for me, if I'm going to be away from my family as much as I am, and if I'm going to have to make the sacrifices in terms of missing things with my kids and missing time, we might as well be the best. Yeah. Like, it's got to be worth it. We might as well make it worth it. Yeah. So I'm not, if I'm going to have that time away, we might as well maximize the absolute most out of that time and that potential. So the way I think about it is, my goal for every meeting, my goal for the team that we're building is every touch point that we have with a customer or a prospect or an internal stakeholder, I want to be the team that people want to work with. I want to be the team that people remember, and I want to be the best. And I don't think that it's something that we should be shy about. I think we have a really high standard for excellence. We have a really high bar for talent. We look for the best. We want people that are competitive, that are hardworking, that want to win, but also, super, super sharp and looking to solve the biggest and toughest problems, in our industry today. So we're not for everyone, certainly. And my goal for, every touch point that we have is for them to walk away, for whoever we're meeting with to be like, I want to work with those people again. I learned something from them.
How do you, especially when you're hiring, because we're doing that at the moment, you mentioned a couple of things that you're looking for, but like what is Legora's quality? You say that the bar is really high, and I know that it is. When I speak to everybody here, they're amazing. How do you seek that? I'm sure that you've interviewed a lot of people over your time, right? And it's tricky. You want to, you need to pressure test them, and you need to see what their intention is. But how do you know? Do you know within the first 20 seconds? What is it that you're profiling of people where you think, that's the right person for this team?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we have some interview and sort of candidate strategy approaches that we think are good with respect to screening for effort, screening for hustle, screening for culture. Yeah. Because, I think culture is a differentiator. I think culture is a weapon. And if you're doing it in the best and right ways, then it's not just about, your product. It's not just about your team. It's about sort of the energy that you're bringing, and people can feel that. And so that's sort of at a high level. But we do a great job of getting referrals from our best people. I think, our best people refer our best people in general. We have great partners who understand sort of the vibe and the energy that we're going for. But I think in terms of the screening process, the biggest thing you can do on screening for effort and screening for cultures is being highly transparent and intentional with folks about what you do, how you do it, and sort of this is how we work. Yeah. Is this interesting to you? Yeah. Because again, it's not for everyone. And certainly, we're 5 days a week in office. And as we've talked about, we lose candidates because of that. But we think there's an outsized positive benefit for us to all be together and doing our best work together, as an example of something that we really care about, one of our sort of core temples. So, I wish I had certainly we don't get it right all the time. No one does, but we have an amazing team. It's the best group I've ever worked with, and we're excited about what we're building. Yeah, I think I remember you telling me. I don't know if I'll butcher this, but with the 5 days in the office as well, which is important. Yeah, you're a growing team. You're like a founding team. It's like you want to be in there. Like we're in the office pretty much every day. Yeah, there's nothing better than that feeling of just everyone's in this, we're on this journey together as well. Yeah. It's one of the best things. So, but I think you were saying to me something around the lines of imagine if you have the most important deal of your life. That's what do you remember? Yeah. So that's are you going to do that at home or? Well, and just to make a comment too is my wife's also 5 days a week in office. So I always make the joke we're the only couple that both go to the office 5 days a week. So and people are always like, oh yeah, that's right, you are the only couple we know. Yeah. But people ask me why 5 days a week, and my answer is simple. Picture the most important meeting of your life. You got to close a deal, you got to get a raise, get a promotion, something big. It's has to happen. Picture everything about that meeting. Are you on Zoom or are you in person? And everyone knows the answer is in person, right? Yeah. So if we all agree that we do our best work in person, then you're just negotiating around the margin of the logistics of how often you can get together. Yeah. So that's how I look at it. And we see great results. And look, we've also set up an amazing space. We have an awesome office. We have a lot of fun. It's we want to make it an environment that people want to be in, even when they're working really hard and solving big problems. Yeah, I love that. So often, when you join businesses, right, usually there's a battle-tested CEO. A certain age, certain tenure. Obviously, Max is an amazing guy, but he's young, right? Yes.
So, and not, especially out of all the AI businesses in the world, you choose Legora. So what was it? What was your like aha moment of being like, oh, this is the one?
Yeah, so I met Max at a coffee shop in New York. We were in right by Grand Central, and Clock Tower Coffee, great spot. And look, you meet him, and 2 seconds into the conversation, you're like, this guy's different, right? There's an energy, there's a charisma, there's a sharpness that's unique. And I think for me, I'm always thinking about who do I want to work with, who can I do my best work with and for. And he's an amazing boss, and so from the second that I met him in that coffee shop in New York, and subsequent conversations, we got on immediately. We had a connection immediately, and it's something. Yeah, he was 25 when I met him, and having to explain to my wife that I was quitting my job to go work for a 25-year-old in Stockholm.
What did she say?
Yeah, no, she's great. She trusted me. She got it, but it was but I feel really lucky. I think he's a generational founder. He's a one-on-one. You don't meet people like him. And in all the craziness going on in AI and vertical applications and all these different things, a lot of the sort of investment theses and thoughts on the market and how you sort of take a foundational LLM and build sort of like an application layer on top of and around that. A lot of that can sound the same, not just in legal tech, but in financial tech and across the board. But like anything, and like I think history, as a history major in college, and I think what history teaches us is that great leaders make the biggest outsized impact. And so for me, it's so important to work with someone like him. And have that opportunity, and we're having a blast. So his level of intensity, his competitiveness, his intellect, and his vision for the company and the market are top tier. And so we're just, I feel really fortunate.
Yeah, he wants people to win.
Exactly. He wants to win. He wants the company to win. And I think importantly, he wants our clients to win.
Yeah.
He genuinely wants to partner with the biggest firms, the biggest corporate legal departments, and help them win, help them adopt these tools, help them make material change to how they make money and run their business.
Yeah.
So people feel that.
Yeah.
And like I said, people can feel if you're just selling something, and people can feel if you're leaning in and you're going to put your money where your mouth is, not just can we build a product? Can we take feature requests? We're highly reactive and collaborative in our product work with our clients.
Yeah.
And that's how people say we have the best product, which we do. But it's because of that collaboration and that sort of inspiration that we get by working closely and directly with our customers. And that's driven primarily and first and foremost with Max.
Yeah, you've got to be obsessed with it. I think people coming into Legora, when the product is so good and you see that moment in that client's eyes as well, just makes that whole experience amazing, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about working here is that you see people have that aha moment. And going back to when I met Max, and a lot of people have this story because when especially back then, he would meet you and he would immediately show you Legora. Or it was called Leia. When I met him, we were called Leia. So when I met him, we were talking for 30 seconds, and he had that. And when I saw Tabular Review, one of our features, for the first time, I had my own aha moment, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is enterprise AI.
Yeah, this is good.
This is what people are talking about. Like, oh, what can we do? Like this is it.
Yeah,
and now working together and working with our team, we get to see our own customers and prospects have that experience with us, which is exciting, but that's just step one. It's like the lights are on. Now it's like, let's figure out, let's get to it, right? And so that's the most exciting part is people have that moment. And then from there, they're much more open and interested to collaborate on, building all of the prompts and templates and things that we use to sort of help them achieve their different outcomes depending on, what we're doing in Legora.
Yeah, let me just show you and then it's go time.
Exactly. And then you get to figure it out together. And I think with AI, we talk a lot about the differences between, traditional SaaS and like AI native products. And, when you're doing agentic work, when you click go on our assistant, that could mean a million different things. Like in SaaS, every button click leads to like the same outcome, sort of, no matter what you're sort of doing along that sort of like, linear path progression down sort of the UX. With our agent, it can do something as basic as translate a document or summarize a document or, do some sort of summarization of some
like
specific clause,
Yeah.
or it can do a multi-step, multi-tool calling, super complex, high document review sort of workflow that does an end-to-end task for a lawyer and helps them, do something that would have previously taken weeks or months and condenses it into a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So the variance of the outcomes is very broad. And our job is to help our prospects and customers understand how to think about using Legora, when to use it, and how best to sort of make the biggest impact. And that sort of education on that curve is the challenge that we have, with respect to adoption enablement.
Interesting. Okay. So I think, there's so much more to uncover. I'm like to ask you, but I think to round it up, I always like to finish these off with like quick fire questions, right?
So
it won't be like describe yourself in 3 words or what's your favorite ice cream. I'm sure people would love to know, but
mint chocolate chip.
mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, just if anyone's
nice.
wondering.
I have any flavor. Really. And I don't want you to think about them too much. Just like whatever comes to mind as well. It's nothing scary. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
So, what daily habits do you swear by that have been conducive to your success?
A couple things. I exercise every day. We've talked about this. I know it's a big for you as well. But I'm an early riser, so I wake up about 5:30. I do check the bat phone, see what's going on Slack and email, and because we have such a big global team across the world, I like to hit the ball back. With respect to anything that's needed from my team, and just make sure they have everything they need for their day. If I'm blocking any approvals or anything like that, and then I you typically go to the gym or go to yoga. And for me, if you look at sales and you look at go to market work, it's a really stressful job. You've got to go talk to customers. There's a quota. There's all kinds of pressure that you feel, and most of the folks that I started my career with, aren't doing sales anymore. Like most people don't make it all the way, to 40. Like I recently turned 40, and it's a tough job.
Yeah. And
one of the ways in which I manage the stress and I manage all of the sort of competing competition for your attention is exercise. So go to the gym every morning, and then I get back and make my kids breakfast, spend time with Jackson and Sienna, and then we then they're off to school, and then I go to work. But that sort of morning ritual really helps me stay grounded. Helps me. I do my best thinking if I'm trying to solve a problem, if I'm trying to figure out what to do about something. I usually come to that realization during that morning period. So, sort of that morning workout into a coffee breakfast with my kids. That's a great part of my day and something I look forward to. And when you have 2 kids and you work at a crazy job like I do, being up before everyone, having that quiet period where it's just me. There's no, I'm not in a meeting, and having that's super important. But I also, try to practice meditation, and prayer when I can. And there's all kinds of mindfulness. I find mindfulness is also something that's overlooked, because with all of these, with everything going on sort of in our world, with everything going on in the industry, in the company, being intentional and mindful about where you're putting your thoughts and where you're putting your attention and emotion is really critical. So I try to do my best as I can there in terms of the mental health stuff as well.
That's great that you're doing that. I didn't know that you're into yoga and meditation.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, the funny thing about that when people talk to me about it is they're like, "Oh, I tried that. I'm not good at it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
Do you
no one's good at it. Like, I'm terrible
It's
at
hard.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's good at
30
it.
seconds, I'm like,
I'm like, is this
working?
this thing on? And you don't need to be good.
Yeah.
You don't need. There's no mountain to climb on. It's just the practice.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is really helpful for me.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
Great. If you could give advice to the next generation of go-to-market leaders in the AI space, what would it be?
That's a great question.
Thank you. Wrote it myself.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say I think it's the best time to be a seller. Period. Full stop. I think a couple of things. Focus on outcomes.
Yeah.
Focus on solving problems and being customer obsessed. And if you do that, everything that you do ladders up to those things.
Yeah.
So I think when I talk to a lot of younger folks, one of the differences in our sort of world today versus, when I was coming up is the products are moving so fast.
Yeah.
The products are moving. Our product today, our product was amazing when it started. I mean, like I said, I had my aha moment and quit my job and moved to a new business. But our product today is materially better than it was 12 months ago. And every month it's going to be different. So my point is it's very easy to get focused on features. It's very easy to get focused on, the model capabilities can do X now. Like, look at this cool thing it did. But those things only matter insofar as they are in service to solving a problem and helping your clients. And so being able to have the growth mindset and agility to keep up with the capabilities is important. You have to master the product. You have to be an expert at that. But it's not just about mastering the product and being an expert at the product. It's about taking that product and applying it to business problems and being really thoughtful and smart about how you do that. And that's a really hard thing to do because you have to be so in the weeds just to keep up. So you have to, it's tough, but focus on outcomes and focus on problem solving.
Great. Solid advice. Okay, last one.
Yeah, good.
Last one. I'm trying to think, I've got two here. Which one I want to ask you? So what do you think is like a hard truth about scaling revenue that most people don't want to hear? Like one or two things that you think, like the reality of it, that's tough.
Look, it's full on. It's not for the faint of heart. There's always something to do. Like, in theory, I could work 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
There's so much happening in our business, in our space. There's always more that I could be doing. And finding the balance between going as hard as you can and maintaining your sanity is there's a line there, right? So I think it's just about prioritization. It's about putting your own guardrails up when you need to, but also going as hard as you can within the context of the opportunity. Yeah. Because I think for Legora, we have an opportunity to be a generational company. We have the opportunity to win our market. And those are two things that I care a lot about and I really want to do. And we're all aligned on the mission and how we get there. We'll see. But there's so much to do in finding the time to prioritize what to do, when to do, and how to do it, while still sort of making sure you get your sleep, making sure you eat well, and all those things that you need to do to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your relationships, and invest in what's important. So that balance is tough. And it's something that I try to do my best to be intentional about and solve in the right ways. Yeah,
I think that's why people love like a day in the life of just, influential individuals. Like, how do they do it? Yeah. But I think we're all very, very excited to see where Legora is going to be, even next week. Who knows? The end of this year, next year as well. And I so appreciate you coming onto the podcast. It's been great to actually meet you in person as well.
We've talked so much, and to meet live has been great. Yeah, especially here in Stockholm.
Likewise. Thanks for having me as well. It's great to have you on.
No, I appreciate it. Cheers.